Okay, I understand. Today we're going to be playing this red-green control deck. So we've got a lot of removal, shock, spike, field hazards. Chainweb Arachneer in particular is good against rogues and any deck with flying creatures, but it's still okay in general. It's still a 1-drop that comes back. We've got Cinderclasm, Prophecy, Shatterskull Smashing, Colony Ambush, Bonecrusher Giant, Wicked Wolf, and then, some other bits and bobs there. And then we also have this guy. He gives you card advantage because he'll kill things like Maze Mine Tomes and equipment that gives double strike and trample in particular. And if you're playing against a deck where it doesn't look like he needs to be that, he gets to be a 2-drop. So he's a little more efficient in that regards compared to some other choices. So he nets you the card is an important thing compared to other ways to kill artifacts. Like the Brontodon is a better card in general, but doesn't actually gain you a card advantage when you kill an artifact or enchantment with it. So we've got other things like Scavenging Ooze, which is good against multiple decks, including rogues, and some good, just solid cards like Gilded Goose and Garruk and stuff. What's notable here is that there are only 4 dedicated lands, the 4 Cragcrown pathways. The way that works is 24 land plus 4 Gilded Goose, so it's 28 mana sources, but only the land and the Gilded Goose are really dedicated to that. So you hit 4 or 5 land and you kind of stop, and you have a very high card quality curve after that. So you're gaining card advantage, and then you're having a high card quality overall at a certain point. And that's what you're trying to do to take control of the game. Obviously, this doesn't work against some decks, especially decks that are low on creatures. I'm a very big fan of having counterspells or hand disruption in this environment because there's a lot of big fat spells that if you stop them, if you stop an Ultimatum or a Yorion in this environment, it really hurts the deck a whole lot. But we're accepting that those are hard matchups for this to begin with, and are trying to beat the more creature-based decks with this particular form of control. And so we're going to see how well this does. I have been doing better than 50%, but not as good as Black-Green Constellation deck, and not as good as Rogues so far. And part of that is because this is designed to beat the Rogues deck, which is either the most popular or second most popular deck in the environment right now. And there's so many decks that are viable in the environment right now that even though it's the most popular, it's still like a 1 in 10 games that you play against it. So we've got land in all our colors. We accept that we have very few things that come into play untapped, and that is totally fine. We are going to get this guy down as a land early, and then we'll worry about stuff later. Next turn we can either Bonecrusher something, or Scavenging Ooze, or Chainweb Arachneer. Playing red, I'm not sure what he's going to do with that, but that does mean that we're going to lay this tapped and just run this Chainweb Arachneer out there. Because odds are he's either a mid-range or an aggro red deck, and doesn't have a lot of flyers, and yeah, looks like that. So now we are going to Bonecrusher. Ooh. We are going to get even better. I'm sure he's very pleased about that. We're going to actually lay this as a land, and we're going to put it in untapped, and we're going to give him some more targets for stuff. You can choose to, do you think you could turn it, oh yeah, absolutely, I could turn the music down, sorry. It's hard finding the right balance on that. Is that better? Does that work better? Oh, that's very, very quick, Gadrek. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry about that. Like it's hard to figure out where the right thing is, where the right mark is for there to be something playing in the background, but not just, but not overpowering my voice. so he can still block. So I am sending with this guy. He probably will not block it. Yep, that's totally fine, and we'll get this guy online. See what's going on. This is an odd card. I'm not going to fault it because I haven't seen the rest of the deck, but it's an odd card. Okay, he's red-black. He's a red-black artifact-y deck. So we've got a couple of options here. We are probably killing the Skadrak. Oh, no, this Palladium Mirror is actually scarier than the Gadrak. So we're gonna make it look like our that was our Bone Crusher. We're gonna send with this guy, and he's not gonna take the bait because it looks too obvious, but that's fine. And I think I'm gonna do this. That's questionable. Like, arguably I should keep it for this stuff. Get back a Bone Crusher, but another Stone Coil Serpent, that's fine. It's huge, but it's fine. So arguably I tapped lands badly last time, but that's okay. Terror of the Peaks, that's a good card. He's not removing my other things, and I don't know why, but we're going to put this Terror of the Peaks and see if he offs that thing. See if that triggers some, because he's red-black, he should have just tons of removal. Red-black artifact deck, though. I'm worried about his Ugin. He's at 6 mana of the 8 he needs for an Ugin, I guess. Kroxa, okay. That is what I do. Can he get the Kroxa back? No, he's not gonna ever get that Kroxa back. Ever. He's got to kill the Scavenging Ooze, yeah. If he kills the Scavenging Ooze, that's pretty okay because I still get to use my Terror of the Peaks here. Okay. So let's try this first. Let's get that off the board. Do you have protection for that? No. You're just gonna take a bunch of damage. So his guy has reach. I have to remember that. That's always hard to remember. I'm actually not going to attack into his guy. I'm gonna play it safe here. But we are going to get rid of that Kroxa before anything untoward happens with it. There's no playing around with that. There's an argument for leaving the Bone Crusher mana open, but okay. It's interesting. I'm still gonna, so I get to Bone Crusher that guy, get my Shatter Skull back, and everything's hunky-dory. So we are going to swing with, he's got two creatures in the graveyard. Yeah. So we're going to swing with the Scavenging, all this stuff down here on the ground, and not the Terror of the Peaks. If he blocks the Scavenging Ooze, we get to We get to pump it. If he blocks anything else, we are going to Bone Crusher Giant his Stone Coil Serpent. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's hard for him to figure out where he's going with that. Okay. Hey, Burnfish, how's it going? Welcome in. I don't know if you've been lurking this whole time. Maybe you have. Okay, so he's at 5. I'm gonna make it so that I can. Oh, I mean, this can deal to players, right? Target any target, yeah. So let's just see. He needs to like wipe the board here. So I can Calmy Ambush to get back a Bone Crusher Giant and do 2 to him. So unless he gains life, he's dead. Thought my PC went into sleep mode. There we go. And so that game we just outcard advantaged him with stuff. Okay, so we're playing this as a red mana to have these things open. I think. Maybe we're laying this as green mana instead. Yeah. Magmatic Channeler, that is fine. That might pull him out of stuff. I can't kill that right this second, but it's tempting to try. Let's get our red mana online. This is our only. No, it's not our only red source. We got. Let's do this actually, and we'll worry about going pretty good. Yeah. What's so you said your only restrictions are has a P-balloon in it, and but you've got a few people who are judging what gets to be official sort of thing. Yeah. Couple people playing levels. Cool. Are you looking for a particular like degree of difficulty or anything like that? Like, are you wanting it to be challenging or just wanting it to be cool in general? And if it's challenging, that's a bonus. Has to use the people in for more than 50% of the. Yeah, that makes sense. Any? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was you wanted like people to like for it to be like, you know, Team Shell-ish thing where there's certainly like a tier of difficulty that they want from the level. Okay, this comes out as red. We Wicked Wolf this Magmatic Channeler. And now we are in control of this game, assuming he doesn't play something crazy. Because any card that he spends to kill that Wicked Wolf is totally okay. Spread rating is a lot so that easier levels have some separation. Makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so we are going to You do that guy. Take some damage as a result. Ratings 1 through 8 are supposed to be easy through expert. Okay. Super expert starts at 9. That's fair. Are you asking, so do people need to put the hashtag in their level, or if they already have a cool level built, will you, is that good enough? So this guy deals, this guy hurts me for targeting him. That's very unfortunate. We are going to attack that. Take gold levels. Not required. That's good. If your source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. Okay, I understand. That makes things interesting. That's gonna do like 9 to me. Yeah, thanks. So things just got really scary. He's only got 1 card in hand. It looks like I'm in super control, but I'm at 7, so anything that deals more than 2 damage to me will kill me because of this enchantment. So we're actually going to try and accelerate our clock here. So I want to lay this. I want to lay the Bone Crusher. I also want to shock him with the Bone Crusher, but I think I'm just laying creatures and trying to get there. And hoping. Okay, so if he doesn't kill me this turn and doesn't stop me from hitting him, he dies on my next turn, right? Like if the board states just stays the same, I swing, bring him down to 1 and shock him for the kill. Thinking a lot about it. Okay, that brings me down to 1. And then, like, why are you... Yeah, okay. All that's fine. Okay, so I would deal 4 to him, 5, 6. This is scary. I can valid get recovery up another shock. That doesn't help me. Scavenging Ooze also doesn't really help me. Target it with a spell. That's interesting. So I can actually kill this and not... But I won't be able to kill him. We'll still be 1 off. So he needs, I need him to have no direct damage here. That's all that matters. Don't hurt me. Success. It's kind of designed to work best against one of the top 2 decks in the environment right now. But there's so many different decks in the environment that even the top 2 most common, you still only play 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 matches. So it's kind of kind of just see what's out there, see how things are. That makes sense. Some important things in this environment in particular are that there are cards like this. So this Balaged Recovery, it's like a regrowth, a green and 2, return target card from your graveyard to your hand, or I could play it as a land that comes into play tapped. So it's got multiple things it can do, so there's like a lot of options. So it's an expensive regrowth, but it could be a land if you need it to be a land, sort of thing. There's a lot of decks that are trying to be aggro decks. What did I do here? I think I play this as a mountain, and then play Garruk and make a guy. So that affects the environment. These cards do. There's a lot of cycling stuff. The two most common decks are Rogues, which is a deck that kind of mills stuff into your graveyard to enable their cards. And there are a couple of kinds of Rogues. There's Rogues that are trying to actually damage you out, and then there are Rogues that are trying to that's interesting. And there are Rogues that are trying to mill you out. And then aside from that, there's a what am I doing? I'm making that guy big, and then I'm Wicked Wolfing. So the other major deck besides Rogues is a Yorion deck. Yorion is Companion. There was a set with 10 companions. They're all in various colors, and they red, and I'm 1 mana off of being able to handle that guy well. Hang on, let me think about this, and I'll talk more about the Yorion thing. The recovery's not doing it. Let's get the Shatterskull Smashing online, and then we will worry about the rest after. I think it's fine. Let's make this guy big. Let's attack with him. He's not gonna block. If he attacks my Garruk, that's fine. Probably. He's thinking about. So companions are cards that have they're creatures. They have an ability when they come into play. Usually, sometimes it's a continuous ability, and they effectively they start removed from the game, and you can pay 3 mana to put it into your hand at any time. So it's like having that extra card in your hand, but they're kind of slow. Yorion is a 4/5 flyer for 5 mana. When he comes into play, that's an interesting card. When he comes into play, you can remove any number of your permanents from the game and then bring them back into play at the end of your turn. And and so it plays a lot of cards with comes into play effects. And there are so many different Yorion decks because everybody thinks they're a genius with oh, I get to play some comes into play effects in Yorion. But the downside is that in order for him to be your companion, you have to play with an 80 card deck. So your deck is much less consistent. It does crazy combo-y things when you resolve one Yorion. Okay, so let's get rid of that. This is interesting. That changes what I'm gonna do, I think. I think I Chain Web Arachneer, chump with Gilded Goose. No, chump with Chain Web Arachneer and then bring it back. Something like that. Very interesting. I could actually just do this. This still works out. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I don't know if that's right, but we'll run that. Like it protects my Garruk, and that's really what I'm looking at here. It's protecting the Garruk. Let's make this guy big and send with him. There's some other companions that see play. There's Lurus, who is a 3-mana, 3-power lifelink guy who each turn you can there he is. That's good. Thanks. So 3-mana, 3/2 lifelink. During each of your turns, you can cast one permanent spell with convert mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. In order for him to be your companion, though, all your spells have to cost 2 mana or less. You can play him as a normal creature like this guy did, but in order for him to be your companion, he has to cost differently. So we actually have to... I wanted to kill this Veto, but we have to kill this Lurus because, well, he can get Skyclade Shapes back anyways. Maybe I don't care. I think I killed the Lurus. We're gonna make a 3/3 beast. And we'll say go. So we're trying to control this guy. We are in control. It really depends on what he's got in his hand. We have the upper hand right this second. He can get back a Skyclade Shade. But Garruk is kind of got those. This character return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so he's going to get a Lurus back, or he's going to get the Nighthawk back. Not sure. Let's see. He's going to get a Nighthawk back. Okay. Interesting. I would be happy if you had attacked. Yeah, do that. That guy doesn't trample or anything. Right? Yeah. Okay. He just enabled me to kill his Nighthawk Scavenger here in a second. Does he realize that? I don't think he does. Okay. Entirely handled. Like, thanks, guy. Appreciate it. Okay, so we want to leave our Goose and our Tangled Florahedron up so that we can Fire Prophecy something. In fact, we might just tap and do that right now. That might be the plan. Nah. Teamwork OP, yeah. Yeah, especially, yeah, they are teamworking in our favor. I definitely appreciate it. Okay. So yeah, there's there are those two main decks. There's Rogues and Yorion, but they're only 5 to 10% of the field because there's so many different decks out there right now. And so you, like, for example, I'm playing against this mono black aggro-ish mid-range deck. Weird deck. I guess it's mid-range because this is a card advantage thing. Okay. So he's gonna attack. We're gonna block and then shock his or shoot his guy. I think. Actually, we're just gonna block with the Chainweb Arachneer. This guy doesn't trample, right? Oh, he's got Menace. I need to double block, I guess, or what that's matters. So the question is, do I spend the Fire Prophecy on that card or on the Veto? I think I spend it on that card because I think I'm threatening killing him right this second. High Triton, okay. Oh, that was a really good draw. Okay, so we will remove probably his Veto because that's the scariest thing. The Death Touch is annoying too. But do I have for sure kill on him? He's at 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I couldn't for sure kill him. So let's do that. Let's do this. And we're actually going to leave. Actually, this forces him to block. He should block anyways. So we're going to do that. Can you have? Oh yeah. So Wicked Wolf, when he comes into the battlefield, it fights one target creature I don't control. So he deals his power and damage to them, and they deal it to him. So it's as if they combated when he comes into play. He's also got a thing to sacrifice a food token, which is a thing that some other cards make to give him +1/+1 and indestructible until end of turn. That is less relevant. More relevant is he comes into play, he deals damage to something and they deal damage to it. So usually you're arranging it in a favorable way. Okay, so we are going to can he survive this no matter how I do it? He's going to gain 3 life. He doesn't have the Demonic Embrace on anything. So he's effectively at 7. So he is effectively dead because it doesn't matter where I put this. Yeah, it's a good card. It's in most decks that are running green right now, you will see Wicked Wolf, and you will see these Gilded Gooses, which are kind of like Birds of Paradise. They have pluses and minuses to them. I'll show you some cards when we're drafting. So this is, like I said, there's only 4 dedicated lands in this deck that are permanently lands. So this is one of them. So you have to kind of look at this hand weirdly, because this is a land also, and this is a Gilded Goose. So it looks weird. I actually have to. I need. I want to play the Cragcrown Pathway as a red, because I have to make sure I have red mana. And so I'm playing this as the green, so I can Gilded Goose off of it here in a second. So he's got Allurus as a companion, which means all of his permanents cost 2 or less. And he's playing the cycling deck. So we are going to just kill everything that he lays for the next 2 turns. That's the plan here. The cycling deck, there's a lot of cards that cycle for 1 mana, and like this card cycles for 1 mana. When you cycle another card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So he gets bigger and bigger. So he's a nice card in the thing. This deck basically is trying to rush you out. Is trying to lay a bunch of little dudes, and then there's a Zenith Flare, which deals damage to a player or creature equal to the number of cycle cards in your discard pile. So it's trying to deal some amount of damage and Zenith Flare you out. I am going to lay this. So he didn't lay a creature, so I actually get to develop my board here. This is a red, and we are going to lay the Bone Crusher, I think, over the Gilded Goose / leave a Bone Crusher open. So let's get that started. It's got weird selection of lands, like full art land and then regular land. Okay. That was fine. I think I actually laid this as a land to get closer to the Terror of the Peaks. And then hopefully you'll lay a creature that I will Fire Prophecy or Bone Crusher Giant on his turn. Hopefully. Trying a Stinger, thank you. Oh no, he's cycling it. He's just like, I'm gonna cycle everything. I don't know what his big plan is here. Okay. Like I was for sure he's gonna lay a dude, and so his only plan is now to Zenith Flare me out, I think. So we're going to cast Terror of the Peaks, and he needs to kill it pretty quick. I'm sure he will, but that's fine. This card is a 5/4 flyer. Gotta head out. See you around. See ya, Mr. J. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day. This guy's a 5/4 flyer, and whenever any other creature comes into play under my control, he deals its power and damage to a target of my choice. So since he's not killing it, it's very strong. I think he's just trying to Zenith Flare me though. So we shock that thing, and then we lay a... Do I lay this for 4? Because I think I'm racing him at this point. He's got 12 in his yard. Actually, yeah, I for sure do this. I'm going to lay this as a land, and then we're gonna make a food with our Gilded Goose, and actually aim at gaining life with it, unless he lays a creature that I'm going to Fire Prophecy or Bone Crusher Giant. Because he's definitely just trying to Zenith Flare me at this point. I feel like he has to kill that Terror of the Peaks. That deals 14. Guess so. I guess he's got 2 Zenith Flares, and this is... Because there's not a reason... That's an instant spell. There's no reason to do that main phase. So I think he's got two second Zenith Flare, and I don't think I can win now. I can lay this Bone Crusher. I can have the food left open, but I don't think that matters. I mean, maybe he was just trying to gain life. Maybe he was worried that I was going to kill him next turn. Is he just slow rolling his second Zenith Flare? No, he's not. Okay, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. So we are killing myself in response to the Zenith Flare. And that's fine. That deck is really like it's another reason why I think whatever you play, you should be playing either counter spells or hand disruption, because that deck is here's some little guys and then Zenith Flare. And so if you can handle a few little guys and then stop 1 or 2 of those spells by making them discard them or countering them, it's